Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson. In this video we're going to be talking about Gaussian elimination, matrices, how to solve them, how to get the results. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start with this matrix. It's a very simple one, it's just 2 by 2. So first, we're going to switch row 1 and row 2 because row 2 already has 1 as a pivot number. So we're just going to write it like this. Okay, the next step would be getting 0 underneath this pivot number. So for that, we have to subtract row 1 from row 2 multiplied by 2. Okay, and the last step would be dividing row 2 by 5, because we want this number as 1. Perfect. So we transform this matrix into echelon form. We don't really have to transform it into reduced echelon form unless you're asked so. You can do that, but you don't have to. Okay, so we're just gonna, as you guys remember, this is column X, this is column Y. We're just gonna start with Y, which is gonna be Y equals 11 over 5. And now let's just solve it for X. Awesome, so this is our result. Again, we're just gonna write it like this at the end. Perfect. And this is our solution. Let's take a look at the next matrix. Okay, so for this matrix, in the first row, we already have pivot number as 1. The next step would be getting zeros underneath that pivot number. So for that, we're just gonna subtract row 1 from row 2. And we're gonna do, we also need to get 0 number over here as well. So we're just gonna add row 1 to row 3. Yeah, we're gonna get next. Next, let's divide row 2 by -3 to get the pivot number as 1. So now we're just gonna get rid of this 3. Perfect. And now let's make this pivot number 1. Perfect. So we transform this matrix into echelon form. We can also transform it into reduced echelon form. So that's what we're gonna do. So for that, we have to get zeros above the pivot number. So in column 3, we have to get rid of these two numbers, and in column 2, I have to get rid of this number. Okay, first we're gonna focus on column 3. Perfect, and now we're gonna get rid of this 2. Perfect, so this is our result. This is what reduced echelon form looks like. And as we remember, this is column X, this is column Y, and this is column Z. We don't have to calculate anything else. We can just write the results, and that is it. That easy. Okay, let's take a look at another matrix. Yeah, this one is a fairly easy one, but I still wanted to show you this one as well. Okay, so we have pivot number as 1, so we're just gonna get rid of zeros underneath the pivot number. Then we get zeros. And row 3 will be zeros as well. So what does this mean, guys? It means that we have unlimited amount of solutions. If there's an infinite amount of solution, we usually write it as a t. So that's what we're gonna do, right? Um, so z will be equal t. Then our y will be equal t2. I'll write it as t1. And then x will be equal to x plus 2 t2 minus 1 minus t1. This is our answer. We're just gonna write it like this, x, y. And this is our answer. Awesome. Let's take a look at another example. Okay. So we got in the first row, we have 1 as a pivot number, so that is good. Then we're just gonna get rid of the numbers below. We have to turn them into zeros. So we're just gonna subtract row 1 from row 2 and row 3. And this is what we get. Okay, now we're just gonna get rid of this one. Awesome. So as we can see, we got 0 equals 0, which means we have a limited amount of solutions. So that's what we're gonna write. Okay, and the answer is gonna be, so z equals t, then y equals, okay, y minus t equals 1, which is y equals 1 plus 2. And now we're gonna solve it for x. So x Okay, I made a mistake here. There it is. Okay, and now we're just gonna write the solution. Here, I'm just gonna write it with colors so it's easier to see what's going on. X. Okay, so this is our answer. Okay, let's get to the next matrix. I'm gonna erase it quickly. So let's take a look at this one. I thought we could start from a system of equations just to refresh how do we get the numbers into the matrix. So as you guys remember, this is the x column, the first column, the second column, which is y. This is third column, and this would be the fourth column, right? Awesome. Okay, and let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of these numbers first. We have to turn them into zeros. Okay, perfect. And we got, when we look at row 2, we already can see that the pivot number is 1, which is perfect. So then we just have to get rid of these numbers. right away we can see that there is a contradiction, right? Because 0 doesn't equal 3, which means there is no solutions. So that's what we are gonna write. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next lesson.